So New York's mayor race is on. Early voting started on October the 25th. And while it might sound like a very US, even New York specific story, it could have wider implications. From London to Toronto, political groups are watching what happens and wondering if it could redefine liberal politics around the world. Because this isn't your typical US race between Democrats and Republicans, this one's a fight inside the Democratic Party between an underdog progressive and a well-known career politician backed by New York's business and political establishment. The underdog here is Zohran Mamdani, a 34-year-old state lawmaker from Queens. He shocked a lot of people by beating former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to become the Democratic nominee for New York mayor. And that's despite Cuomo's name recognition, endorsements, and deep donor network.
Zohran Mamdani's resounding victory in the Democratic primary is reverberating through the 5 boroughs.
Tonight, we made history.
Now, that upset was dubbed by some in the media as the Mamdani Effect, because it led to a surge of enthusiasm among younger progressive candidates across the country. And it was a sign that bold left-wing ideas could actually win in a big city election. Now, Cuomo's still in the race, but now he's running as an independent against Mamdani and the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa. Here you see them at a debate together. So who is Zohran Mamdani? Well, he's a democratic socialist, part of the same movement as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders. That means policies that focus on wealth distribution and public services, closing the gap between the rich and everyone else. Mamdani was born in Uganda. He moved to the US with his family at the age of 7 and became a US citizen in 2018. Before politics, he worked as a housing counselor and community organizer in Queens. He's also a Muslim, and he's been very outspoken about that and the Islamophobia he's faced, especially in public life. As one editorial put it, he's saying the quiet part out loud. The US political establishment sees him as an outsider, but his message is resonating with New Yorkers who are feeling squeezed by the city's cost of living, and with communities that rarely get the spotlight in American politics, people who feel the system only works for a few. Mamdani's campaign hits that nerve hard, tackling New York's cost of living crisis, soaring rents, rising transit fares, widening inequality. He says it's making the city unaffordable for far too many. And surveys back that up. Looking at polls from different groups, from retirees to Hispanic voters and a business policy group, New Yorkers said again and again their top concerns were affordability, safety, and in some cases, transit too. So Mamdani is promising to freeze rent increases, expand affordable housing, provide free childcare for pre-kindergarten kids, make public buses free, and redirect parts of the NYPD budget toward mental health, education, and housing programs, because he says police are vital, but they can't fix what's broken in the social system. That's a lot of promises, and it all sounds great, right? Who wouldn't want rent freezes and free transports? So the question is, how's he going to pay for it? Mamdani says it'll be a mix of cutting inefficiencies in the city budget and raising new revenue. To raise that revenue, he wants to increase New York's corporate tax rate to 11.5%, matching that of neighboring state New Jersey. He also intends to add a flat 2% income tax on annual earnings above $1 million. Not surprisingly, New York's wealthy and business leaders aren't thrilled. But taxing high earners isn't new. States like Massachusetts, New Jersey, and California already do it. Mamdani's plan is slightly different though, a flat tax rate instead of a marginal increase, and it would still require approval from the state legislature. Critics call his math unrealistic and question his lack of experience. Can a first-term lawmaker run a city as big and complex as New York? Even some senior Democrats aren't supporting him. On The Daily Show, Mamdani was asked how he handles his critics, and this is what he had to say.
I think it's an opportunity where, I both can tell them the things that I will do and the things that I won't do, right? I will freeze the rent. I won't defund the police. I will make buses fast and free. I won't decriminalize misdemeanors. I will deliver universal childcare. I won't require everyone to eat halal food. This sounds like a punchline.
That mix of humor and defiance sums up his appeal. He's unapologetically progressive, but also eager to counter misinformation. So can he actually win? Heading into the final days of voting, Mamdani leads most polls. If you look at the recent Quinnipiac University and Manhattan Institute polls. But in the recent Suffolk University poll, Mamdani is still ahead, but his lead's down to 10 points from 20 points in September. But as we've seen before, polls can be wrong. And if Republican or centrist voters shift to Cuomo, that margin could tighten further. So what we're seeing with Mamdani's campaign is what we've seen with other progressive movements. It's driven by moral conviction, and it channels real voter frustration. The question now is whether his math and his methods will work. If he wins, it just won't shake up New York politics. It could reshape how progressive ideas play out in big cities around the world, from London to Melbourne. So what do you think? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments or DM me your thoughts. And as always, you can follow me on socials and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want more explainers like these. Before I go, one more thing. Thanks for watching.